As we head into yet another holiday weekend, all eyes are on Bitcoin. With price tightening just beneath recent highs, the big question now is simple. Will we see a breakout run towards $130,000, or is a correction down to $97,000 and possibly even lower right around the corner? In today's video, we're going to break down key levels, the market structure, and signs that could determine Bitcoin's next major move as we head into the weekend. My name is Paul Sampson. Welcome back to DataDash, everyone. Now, before we get started today, folks, if you're looking to take your trading, investing, and market insights to the next level, be sure to join the DataDash Traders Club Discord, available now at DataDashPro.com, where you'll get real-time updates, daily trade setups, and market breakdowns, and everything I have to offer, including things like this. Where on Sunday, I shared the setup for Bitcoin, where I was looking to take the high essentially around that $108,000, get a pullback. Was again looking to take this high right here, come back within this range, and then essentially rotate last week's range, come down to our weekly pivot. Both of these are very common things we see time and time again every beginning of a new week. We then proceeded to get exactly that this week, where we swept the previous week high, came down, met a few weekly targets along the way, one of which being that weekly pivot, and then effectively we actually ran this entire range. Then at the low, 10 p.m. the next night, basically had the setup where we took the previous day low, and I always call this sweep the low and go, and that is exactly what we did after that, right? So $105,000, we closed that first day there, took it out the next day, was looking for a run back through the new range here that we have highlighted around 107, at least up towards about that 109. And as we all know, we had quite the rise over the last few hours here on Bitcoin. So whether you're short-term, long-term, or looking to level up your edge in this market, this is where it all happens. And that's not all, folks. DataDashPro is also the home of Nicholas Merton's Dash Report, our macro research publication packed with long-term investing insights. You can access both the Discord and the Dash Report together for a discounted bundle right here in the middle, which is what we consider the full DataDash experience, which is where you enjoy both the Dash Report and access to the Traders Club Discord. And for the holiday weekend only here, we're actually going to be offering 50% off your first month of either the Discord or the full bundle, which is the Discord and the Dash Report both. To redeem your discount, head on over to DataDashPro.com. And if you would like to join just the Discord alone, just scroll on down to get started. Once here, just put in the code DASH4FREEDOM and hit apply to get 50% off the first month. Or if you decide to go the route of the bundle, after your purchase, just send an email to dashreportcustomerservice@gmail.com. You can find this at the bottom of our website as well. That's dashreportcustomerservice@gmail.com. Include the code DASH4FREEDOM. So it's DASH4FREEDOM. And we'll apply that discount manually after that. Now's the time to join the community and take full advantage of everything we have to offer. I hope to see you in there. All right, so let's break down what the price action is likely to do here in the coming days as we walk into yet again another 3-day weekend while the traditional markets may be closed. And after we're coming into pretty significant resistance and key levels here as well. So once again, just the most recent price action this week, which is what we've already highlighted a couple times already. We had a nice previous week range. We took the highs here. You pulled back to our latest weekly average, which was the average of last week. I always say it's last week's average, this week's target. It was also our monthly and new quarterly NPOCs. So those are untapped point of controls, essentially that have a pretty decent likelihood of being met, especially when we were within those ranges and really quickly after they close off, which they just did as we began July. Now, this was also the rotation of last week's range. So we just went from high to low here, got the support right off the bottom here, got that weekly pivot, and those NPOCs reacted as support here also once we reclaimed them. And since then got a nice push back up to the upside at the weekly NPOC here, which in my opinion is pretty much the line in the sand, give or take this region right here, this 109 to 110. Let's just region it off, right? And state that that's, if we flip this area, I think it's not too far away from the all-time highs. I think we can all agree that all-time highs are on deck. But this is where if we're going to see a sizable reaction and rejection now, I think there's potential that comes from here, and these reasons are why. So once again, just to be clear, we're at an inflection point here where if 109,600 starts to be lived above 4 hours, 6 hours, daily candles, I would imagine we challenge into the highs, make a new all-time high at that point. Simple as that. If we're going to see a sizable rejection here and put in yet again another lower high, okay, because so far this is still technically a bit of a downtrend, right? We've got a high, a low, lower high, lower low, and at the moment, we could be putting in a lower high here. All right. Now I'm going to cover a little bit more of why I'm really focused in on this 109, 600, 110 area as well. But let's just look at a little bit of psychology as at the moment while we are having this outlook here. And if we were to look at this in the case of a bull flag, right, which I know that many have eyes on it in this sense. And essentially, what that is, we've covered it a few times here, but that's where we get this really big impulse move to the upside. You get a little bit of consolidation, right? So this would be your flagpole. You consolidate within this slight downtrend as a flagging outlook here. And if you were looking at it in that simple sense, you would assume that right now we're breaking out. Okay. Now, as a breakout trader, which I'm not, but many would be looking at that as you're coming in, you're breaking downtrend, all that good stuff. Now, I will say that I'm not opposed to the idea that we could very well get a nice break from this region. Once again, I think that this 109,600 is really the key. Biggest reason behind that's going to come up here in a second, but weekly NPOC, big level here. But the idea I want to cover here is this, is that anybody that is looking at this and viewing this as a potential bull flag breakout, which has a target of $130,000. All right. I just think that there's a little bit of caution to be warranted here, because if you're familiar with myself yet, a few things that I look to, especially when we have new elements of time open up, meaning that when we have a new month, a new quarter, new 6-month period, a new year, so on and so forth, I tend to look at some of the previous data, right? So some of the data that is now set in stone. All right, you can look at things in a couple different ways, but I look to the averages, high time frame averages of those previous time sessions, likely to be met in the following session. All right, and then I also look at the range data. Okay, so as we come into Q3 now, we have a lot of new data here that's stacked up right behind us. We covered it a bit on Monday. I'm not going to cover it all, but I did just want to point out that in a simple outlook, anybody looking at this like a bull flag breakout, looking for that continuation to the upside. All right. I'm on board with that as well if we start living above 109. Otherwise, I think there's a big potential here to have a little bit of a rollover, fake out of this bull flag break, get back inside of that region and then continue this for a little bit longer before we actually do see a sizable move to the upside. And a few reasons why. Once again, we have new high time frame averages below us. They generated right below the current low. So interesting enough, if you were to look at this in the sense of anybody putting stop losses, their stop loss, if they have one, is going to be right below this low. And our high time frame averages, which are very likely to be met in this quarter at least, if not the next 6 months, it sits down here at 97,000. On top of that, we still have a very valid bearish shark harmonic here that is still in play. All right. And with a major target coming in down around this region here. Okay. The kicker here is this, is that on top of all that, if we take a look at our previous range data now, that is now set in place, we are coming up right to the value area high, the range high, right up in this 109, right at this weekly NPOC, right? This 109,800, 110, what have you. And if we get a decent rejection from this region, this could really set off another range rotation, just similar to what we saw on the weekly scale this week, right? Where we had that high, we rotated that range down to the low. If you're looking to start trading crypto, WeeX might be a great place to begin. It's a clean, intuitive platform with over 600 plus trading pairs available across both spot and futures trading, which gives you plenty of opportunities whether you're a beginner or a seasoned trader. And right now, if you sign up using our partner link down below in the description, you will receive a 20% bonus on whatever you deposit. There's no KYC required, but you will need to confirm your email and phone number to receive this bonus. Once again, be sure to utilize the link down in our description to get started and boost your trading capital today. WeeX is actually where I've been trading recently and took this most recent trade from that swing high down towards our weekly pivot. Really nice exchange. Once again, if you're interested, check it out down below. This is where we could see a real big beginning to a move like that as well. Okay. And, maybe we don't get all the way down to the low. Maybe that doesn't happen super fast. But we do have some key areas to be aware of, one of which is back down to that 105, which we pretty much just were at. We've got an untapped weekly level of support down here to 100K. Our high time frame averages, of course, that are likely to be met this quarter down at 97, 98,000-ish. And then ultimately, the bottom of the range just so happens to now line up with that shark target, as well as our yearly open. So in short here, folks, we have, once again, 3-day weekend, stock market's going to be closed. We've all seen how tomfoolery can occur during these times. I will note that on the 4th, which is Friday, I noticed there was some deadlines for some of the government bills that are going to be potentially passing here. So something along those lines, maybe it gets kicked down the road, or maybe a negative review comes out around there right as we're trading into this resistance. Just painting a picture where we may see a bit of a alignment with some negative news over that if it does. But either way, once again, I'm not overly bearish, overly bullish here, just kind of cautious. And as we're coming into this key region, I hope that the way I've outlined it makes sense to where, where and why on, why I'm looking at this in the sense that I am. Well, I would love for Bitcoin and the rest of this market to just completely rip to the upside as much as the next person. I still think there's a bit of caution to be warranted here, just short term. And whether that means you act upon it potentially, or just be aware that we can come down all the way to $93,000 Bitcoin and nothing's broken. Right. If anybody's actually looking for potential key area to maybe you miss some of this rally, maybe you're looking for some new areas to deploy new capital into the altcoins. For me, I treat the overall market in a way that where I monitor Bitcoin, and when Bitcoin comes in the key regions, be it a key resistance level, maybe that's where I take profits on some other altcoins if they're doing well, or if I'm looking to get into some new positions in altcoins, when Bitcoin hits key supports, that's when I look to deploy more capital into the market as well. So for me, that level, those areas still remain, $88,000 to $93,000 Bitcoin. I would widen that range now to about 97 to 88. So 88 to 97, but open to adapting to the new information here. So we start flipping 110,000. Obviously, we're $2,000 away from all-time high. I think we can all agree that that's very liable to happen. So where we make a new all-time high at that point. Otherwise, I'm still more so looking for potential pullbacks here towards some of these key areas down below. I'm not going out and dumping all my bags or anything about that, but I'm just very much aware that I think it's likely that we get more of a retracement around these regions once again, down to some of these key levels that I've pointed out. And if we flip 109, then hey, things change and we can continue our rise to the upside. Hope you all enjoyed this update, and I hope that everybody that's celebrating this weekend has a very safe holiday. And if you're serious about leveling up your market edge, please don't forget to check out DataDashPro.com, where you can access my Traders Club Discord for real-time updates, as well as Nick's Dash Report for macro investing insights. And for the holiday weekend, remember, you can get 50% off of the first month of either the Discord or the bundle just by using code DASH4FREEDOM at checkout. So that's dash, the number 4, freedom, dash4freedom at checkout. And if you're looking to start trading or want another platform to explore, WeeX is offering a 20% deposit bonus when you sign up using our link down below. It's no KYC required. Just confirm your email and phone number to receive the bonus. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next video. And until then, everybody, cheers.